Welcome, folks, one and all, to Let's Play Battlecity, released in 1991 for the Nintendo Game Boy. Battlecity was developed by Nova Games and published by Namco, and is a port of the Namco game Battlecity for the Famicom that was released in 1985. Both this and the Famicom version were only initially released in Japan, and yet I played it when I was young. How, you may ask? The answer is multicarts, for indeed, Battlecity was rather prevalent on them to bulk out the number of games that were on them. Normally when it said there were about 10 or 12 or 13 games, there would be that many of them, and Battlecity was typically put on there to make sure that there were that many games there. By the time you got to like 100 in ones, you could only reliably say there were about 8 or 9 games before they were just renames of the same game. Battlecity was on there quite a lot. I think Alleyway was, Super Mario Land, and curiously enough, World Bowling. I've never encountered that game outside of multicarts, but that's neither here nor there, for we're here to talk about Battlecity. The best way to describe it is as a kind of shooter game, where you're playing that tank there, trying to make sure that your base isn't destroyed by the enemy tanks, in a city that is full of battles, hence the name Battlecity. They could have called it, I don't know, Commotion Cul-de-sac, but I don't think it would have had quite a ring to it. Without further ado, let's go! Stage 1. We're this tank here, and that's our base that we need to defend. We defend that base by shooting all of these tanks here. You'll notice that there is a radar at the bottom. The original Famicom version didn't have that radar. It's because the Game Boy version has a very small screen, and you need to make sure that you can see where the enemies are. Hence why you have this small radar, to make sure that you know where the tanks are located. Also, there is a power-up. That power-up freezes where the enemy tanks are, so you can just go and destroy them. These tanks get blown up in one hit, and they're rather weak. Unfortunately, our tank also gets blown up in only one hit. And every level has only 20 enemies. They're not always there at the same time, but there are always 20. And now our tank can fire that little bit faster. There are a few upgrades you can get, and no, they don't make you any more durable. One hit will still kill us here. There are also a few more power-ups you can get, and generally you're trying to make sure that the enemy don't shoot you from off-screen. Your shots cancel theirs out, but theirs also cancel yours out. So you need to be very, very careful. When an enemy's spawning there, you can't go and move where they are. Also, we're currently invulnerable. And I hope you like the sound of that tank engine in the background, because that's the only soundtrack pretty much in the game. But level 1 is done, and it's a rather simple level. But now we're heading over to stage 2, and there are quite a lot of stages. I think there are 35 of them. These blocks here are the steel blocks. You can't blow them up with your standard tank here, but you can blow them up with a few upgrades. Also, that there was a very, very big tank that we blew up, and those tanks take multiple hits to blow up. A general piece of advice is not to be right next to a tank when you're trying to blow it up, and the grenade blows up any tanks that are on screen. You need to be very careful, because if the tanks are right next to you, you can't actually stop their projectiles from hitting you. And generally you want to be very close to where their tanks are, so you can stop them from moving around and trying to get towards your base. You lose if you lose all of your lives. We currently have 2 of them. You also lose if they manage to blow up your base. I think that's an instant game over. And this one's moving quite close, and we really don't want that one to do that. So we'll just use this grenade to get rid of that one there. Ha-ha! Sometimes I just load this game up if I had nothing else I wanted to play, and just play it for a little bit. I was never very good at it. Also, that tank is all the way over there. I do not like that. I don't think their AI is really good. They don't tend to just head straight towards where the base is, so in general we're going to be very, very careful and make sure that the enemy don't catch us by surprise. I think grabbing that is probably a really good idea, because the ability to take out any of those foes without any resistance is a really good thing. They do still spawn in even if the time is frozen, which is quite handy. And there were 20 enemies. most of them are the very weak tanks. We're going to be pretty much encountering them all the time, but we are going to find that our way towards where the tanks are is blocked off by lots of stone there, or sometimes steel, and sometimes water, which I think you can shoot over, but you can't actually move over. I think there is a unlicensed version of the game where there are lots of changes, and we just grabbed an extra life there. Extra lives are always good. In general, you want to make sure that you preserve your lives as much as possible, because there are only so many times you can die. The lives, I think, are very rare. There's one tank dealt with. At the moment it's rather simple, but it will indeed get harder as we go on. That one makes you invulnerable, as I said. There's a shovel, which I believe gets your base surrounded by steel for a little while. I think the most powerful tanks, though, are able to get through the steel, which means that you need to be very careful. The very powerful tanks are, however, very, very slow. And as you can see, you can shoot a little bit off-center there to make sure that you can take them out more safely. Also, we haven't had an upgrade yet for a while, but we will get one eventually. There we go. Loads of points, and I think we're pretty soon going to go straight past the high score, which is not that high whatsoever. Stage 4 here, and we want to make sure that we head straight over to where those tanks are, because they are indeed spawning quite quickly. Those are the third type of tank. I don't know what's special about them. I think their projectile is rather fast, so you need to be very, very careful with them. There we go, we just need to get a few of them. We want that right now. There we go. And we'll just get rid of you, and get rid of you. Your tank is no match to our tank, because our tank is slightly smaller and a little worse. But hey, we're being piloted by the player, therefore this tank is brilliant. We also want to... ooh, an extra life. I'm not going to say no to that. Extra life, get indeed, because we're probably going to lose it very, very soon. Oh, that was very close indeed. You need to be careful. Also, here is a very weak tank here, and there is another one. And I think there'll be an... oh, that is a powerful one. Need to be careful. Ah, an upgrade. We definitely want that. Now our tank can have 2 shots on the screen at once, which means that we can always cancel out one of their shots, and we can fire back, which is always good. I think the final upgrade allows you to shoot steel, which is really good. And also, you do need to be careful, because you can shoot through your base's defenses and blow it up yourself if you're not careful. We want to get rid of this right now and deal with this one here, and that one there. And we got another extra life, which is really good. I don't know if that was based on points or if we got a power-up. It might have been points, but either way, we're going to wait here and get rid of these 2 for free. There we go. Excellent. Ooh, careful. You don't want one of them facing you and right next to you, as I said, because that will cause some complications, and you'll probably die. Dying doesn't restart the level, but it does throw you back to where your base is with a fully unupgraded tank, which is rather rubbish. There we go. And an upgrade again. Now we are a massive tank, that I will note will still get destroyed by one single shot from any of them. Maybe it's made of papier-mâché. Who can say? Either way, it does look pretty awesome. It definitely looks different to the ones that they have, which is quite a nice touch. You'd think that the game would have you just use the same tanks they were, but no. And now our base is surrounded by steel, so it's pretty safe. We just need to make sure that... oh, level over. Never mind. We have, I think, 35 levels to go through, so let's see if we can... ooh, there were only 18 enemies on that one. I always thought there were 20, but never mind. Let's move on here and see what we can do. Starting with dealing with these here. You just sort of need to be very careful because, yeah, we don't want to be too close to that at all. There we go. Want to get rid of you. And then, ooh, time stop. That's very good. You want to make sure you keep your power up for as long as possible, because if you do lose it in one of the later levels, it's very hard to fight your way back up. But then again, you've always got to remember that your shots never get any more powerful. You may have more of them, but they do never get stronger. Also, I don't know what this does when you're at... I think it just gives you points when you're at the maximum upgrade level. I wonder if they could have actually done something different where it just gave you something in addition. Like the ability to fire lots of machine guns or something. But no, you can only ever fire 2 shots at once with the upgrade previously, and then be able to shoot through steel. and these final ones will have no ability to defend themselves because we can stop time with a tank. A magical time-stopping tank. Maybe it's being powered by an archmage or something. Hey, an archmage in a tank. That would be scary indeed. And just to show that we can shoot through steel here, that was me shooting through steel. Gotta be very careful though, because these slow enemies can catch you by surprise. And we want to put a little bit of distance there. There we go. And I definitely want that right now, just in case one of the enemy decides to do anything sneaky, like run over to the base. They're not really good at it in this. I don't know if they get any better as the levels go on. That one's certainly trying to get over to the base. Let's deal with you, shall we? There we go. You can blow them up off screen, but then again they can shoot you off screen as well, so you need to be careful. Also, grabbing that was a very good idea. We'll get rid of you now, and you. Tanks galore, all exploding. And no, them shooting each other will not blow each other up, which is a shame. They're all sort of working on the same side. It's just one tank here against all of theirs, the countless hordes of tanks. And there is a power-up that we really don't need. But hey, points are always good. We also want to make sure that you don't do anything sneaky. You weren't trying to blow up our base, were you? Well, it doesn't matter, because now you are dead. There we go. We'll just get all these points here. It's quite a lot of points that we have. And now we're on stage 8. Stage 8 of quite a few. Also, the obstacles are starting to get a little more numerous. We can only go through here this way now. We need to be very careful. We need to fight our way over to here, and then get rid of these tanks as quickly as possible. If we have the ability to hem them in, so to speak, it prevents them from doing anything really effective whatsoever. The key, I think, is to get up to the top part of the map as quickly as possible, and sort of dart between the two locations as quickly as possible as well. Having the ability to fire twice really does help. Then again, ooh, that's all the way over there. I do really want that. Let's go and get that, shall we? There we go. I wonder what kind of power-up the ability to stop time looks like. I doubt it looks like how it is on the screen there. Maybe that's just an artistic representation, or maybe it really does look like that to the pilot of the tank. Who can say, eh? We'll just get rid of these here, get rid of you, and very quickly shoot our way over to you. Then again, there is only one more tank left, and that one is now gone. Ha-ha! No one can stop the might of my mighty tank. It's not quite the metal slug, but it is pretty decent, it would seem. Stage 9. Stage 9? We're nearly a third of the way through. Let's make sure that we get all the way to the end, shall we? I've never actually completed this game. I usually lost all my lives, or more likely just gave up at one point. We'll want to grab that right here and get even more points, because hey, points are awesome. Gotta be careful of this one. This one could be a little bit sneaky. Oh, and we've now died, which means we've lost all of our power-ups, and we're starting all the way from the very beginning, with only one ability to, oh, and now we're dead again. This is something that can kind of happen when you lose all of your power-ups. You end up in a bit of a disadvantage, but you can slowly get them back. And you can get things like the ability to freeze time, and basically make sure things go your way. There we go. You also need to be very careful about making your shots count when you only have the ability to have one on screen. And it's 4 hits to get rid of that. We do want to grab that, even though we really need an upgrade or two. Or about 20. And that one is now active, but we have indeed managed to get through the level. Although we did lose our amazing tank. We will get that back. Maybe we'll just find it and then find where the keys are. Maybe that's it. We just sort of have the tank get blown up. It's like, well, if you do want that tank back, you need to go and get those keys over there. And so we now need to go and deal with... Ooh, we need to fight our way over to this area. And be very careful, because we have lost all of our power-ups. Can we... that is not what I want. I really want one that will let us get some upgrades. But I will settle for our base being quite well defended for a little while. We really want to make sure that they don't start wandering around everywhere, because them wandering around everywhere is kind of bad. The open areas are really difficult to defend compared to the enclosed corridors. Aha! That will at least help. Invincibility is always a good thing, especially considering the fact that we're now fighting tougher enemies. Quite a bit tougher, actually. These ones are not as tough as the large ones, but I actually think they're more dangerous because they move faster. But then again, that's just a personal statement there about which one I think is more difficult. Any upgrades? That is not what I want. Really not what I want there. I really want to be able to get rid of these by using more upgrades, but I'll take what the game can give me. Alright. Excellent. And now we move on to the next level there. Stage 10 is complete. I do miss my upgrades, but we will be getting them back. I'm quite glad that we got quite a few extra lives early on, because we're basically at the point now that we would have been at before. Also, already the game is throwing the very fast enemies at us right at the start. We need to be careful of them. Very, very careful. A few hits there, and that enemy, as you can see, is all the way down into the middle of the map, which is rather bad. We need to go and get rid of them right now. And the power-ups always appear on... Ooh! I'm very glad that I got that power-up that protected the base there, because these tanks are rather close. Very close indeed. Let's make sure that this one doesn't do anything sneaky and try to blow up our base. There we go. You are now gone. And they're all going down here, and this one is very close. We really don't want you to do any shooting of our base there, but fortunately they don't tend to focus on it. They just sort of drive around and do not a lot. There is another very, very slow tank. It's a massive tank, though. Upgrade? No, absolutely nothing. Ah, well, I'm sure we'll be fine. Let's get rid of this, shall we? Careful. There we go. If you can get them from the side, that tends to help. Also, we want that right now. Just wait for these to be on screen, and there we go. Excellent. We're going to get as far as I possibly can. Hopefully I'll be able to finish it, but it's more likely that I'm probably going to die, because I'm missing those power-ups quite a bit. There's one gone, there's another one gone, and that really isn't the one we want. I really would like one of those stars, but the game seems to be being stingy. Maybe we'll never get our amazing tank ever again. That would be very sad. Also, only 17 enemies there. There's a lot of water on this one. We're going to have to be very careful. There we go. Ooh, careful. Very careful indeed. There is one there, another there, and one right there. And one here that is now dead. If you time your attacks just right, you can end up... Ooh, you got an extra life there. That's not bad, I suppose, but I'd much rather get an upgrade. But maybe the game has just decided, you know what, we gave him all the upgrades he'll ever need. He doesn't need any more. And then the game doesn't give you any... Ooh, also one downside of being at that angle is while they can't defend against your shots, you can't defend against theirs either. And now we have the minor problem of this area being full of tanks, which is rather bad. And there is one dealt with. There is a power-up there that we can't actually get, which is rather bad. But I'm pretty sure we'll be fine. Well, we got rid of one there, and that one is now gone. They're bringing in the very big tanks now. Need to make sure that one doesn't hit us, and there's one there as well. Hello, big tank, how are you? You may be big, but I'm being controlled by me. Therefore I'm... Ooh. And there's one right there as well. Fortunately, it's something I didn't really need, otherwise I'd have been a little bit sad if it was... Oh, and I've lost a life. That was very, very silly indeed. Should have really not been facing in that direction. And there is the final tank of the level that is now gone. I'm starting to think that I might not make it all the way to the end here, but I'm going to try. And by try, I mean probably fail. But hey, that high score, pretty impressive. Well, I imagine people have done far better. People that have actually succeeded. But hey, failure is something that does happen a lot in these games. That's where the longevity of their playing is, usually. And the fact that you can't beat them usually the first time you play. There we go. And that one is gone. You're gone. That is really not the power-up I want, but I'll take it. Because why not, eh? Dealing with 2 more tanks for free, not bad. Anytime you want to give me one of the really awesome power-ups, I'd really appreciate it. But for some reason the game just wants to be very... That really is quite a nice power-up, but I'd much rather get one that would give me... Oh, I don't know, the ability to do more things. We'll just get rid of those there. There we go. And another tank is gone, and I wonder what they're based on, these tanks. Or are they just completely fictitious designs? You never— oh, and we don't want to— oh, we did not want to be right next to that tank. That was really bad indeed. There is a tank working its way over here that we need to be careful of. This one. Hello, how are you? You're gone, and you're going to be gone as well. Oh, and we lost another life, which is really bad because we're on our last life now. The final tank indeed. But fortunately, we're going to do our best, and by our best, I mean we're going to win! We're not going to win, are we? Most likely not. This is generally what tended to happen when I was playing it in the past. I get so far, and then everything would go absolutely horribly wrong. But hey, we're about a third of the way through. That's not so bad. It's not as good as actually winning, but hey, I'll settle for being 1/3 of the way through. After all, the game hasn't given me a single upgrade to speak of since we lost all the ones that we had before. That first life that you lose really can be the game changer. I was about to say the game breaker there. Both of them are oh, and there we go. Unfortunately, stage 14 is as far as we went. 71,900 points, but unfortunately, game over. But the game is never over, for you can always just go back and play again. Admittedly right from the start, but hey, maybe you'll know better what to do next time around. Or maybe you'll just accidentally get shot while you're passing by, and then you'll lose that really good tank that you had. Oh, we miss that really good tank. That we do. But that is Battle City. Sometimes it goes your way, and sometimes it doesn't at all. But hey, the high score is quite a bit higher than it was before, eh? I wonder who could have set that. If you were guessing me, you're wrong, because the tank did it. And I was controlling the tank, so effectively, it was the tank that set the high score. And you want to try playing a game against a tank? It really doesn't go that well. Unless it's a game that doesn't involve driving and blowing things up as a tank, whereupon you might win. I mean, try challenging a tank to Donkey Kong. I imagine you're probably going to win. Unless it just, like, shoots Donkey Kong, whereupon the tank might win. Maybe. But I'm Kikoskia, and that was Battle Tank. Or Battle City, rather. That is a battle tank, but we were playing Battle City. Look at me, getting my battles all mixed up. Battle City, Battle Tank, whatever next, eh? Battleship, maybe? Nah, that would just be silly. I'm Kikoskia, and that was Let's Play Battle City. I failed, but maybe you'll succeed where I didn't. And maybe you won't lose that really upgraded tank. Who can say, eh? Well, you can say. And I'll catch you next time, folks. And I'll see you then. Later. Also, I bet that sound of a tank moving around with the, like, sort of brrr noise is in your head now and won't go away. That sometimes happens when you play the game for about an hour. It sort of stays there and lingers. For a long time. But hey, you've been in a battle tank all that time. And that's awesome, because driving around in tanks in video games is usually awesome. Unless it blows up in one hit. Like the one we had there. I suppose it wasn't that— look actually at that tank. The fact that the treads are so far out, it's a really poorly designed tank. Really poorly. I wonder who designed it, and I wonder if he still has his job. I doubt it. But then again, it's a fictional city, so maybe it's the best tank ever. Then again, it did only get to stage 14. Maybe it's probably not the best tank ever. Just probably. Later.